Greetings YouTube. Today we have a new household project. We're going to be taking this sink, which is old and in bad shape, and this vanity, which is also old and in bad shape. And we're going to remove them, and then we're going to put in new ones, which we have in the basement. So the next footage should probably be us in the basement. Okay, here we are in the basement, and this is the new vanity which we're going to be putting in, which is, here we go, opens up like that. It's a much better quality vanity than the one we just took out. There's the new sink, faucet, tubing. We are going to have to measure and drill a hole for the drain, which we have not done yet. And this is what we're going to use to anchor it to the wall, which should be fairly easy to do. We know where the studs are because I just took the other sink out. But I don't think I've ever actually shown you my basement. So that's the door to the outside. It's not very tall. I have no idea what this wall does, this braced here. I think they may have had a plan at one time of fixing this place up, but they didn't. And I'm being followed. And here we have some shelves. I actually used bifold doors that we didn't need, and so I built 4 shelves out of bifold doors, one of which is currently empty because I haven't had any storage needs for it yet. But I just bought some brackets and again put them up on this stud that they had here, the stud wall, which we're keeping just because it's probably supporting the floor to some extent. And then we have a chimney which does nothing other than probably acts as a support for the building itself. Here's some cable that we put in last week. We actually had to drill a hole and up there and put it into my mother-in-law's basement. But here's our furnaces, the 2 furnaces that heat the place, which is why we don't need that chimney any longer, because both of them are vented directly out of the building. And we have, those are both gas-fired, and we have 2 gas-fired water heaters. And then we have the 3 electrical panels of the building, and units 1 and 2, first and second floor. And then, here we go. Look outside. I don't know if you can see anything at the moment because it's really bright out there, but there's my lawn. And then over here in the corner, we have just some general storage stuff I've just kind of shoved down here. I have no idea what I'm going to do with all of this garbage yet. Just totes and things and kind of thrown down here out of the way. It's relatively dry down here, so that's cool. And then we have, of course, the ever important sump pump, just in case it does get wet. And that goes out to a dry well outside of the building. And then another window. And these right here, when we moved in, all of these straps had drywall attached to this in a damp basement, and they were completely penetrated with mold. So we had donned masks and tore all the drywall down because it was nasty. And in the process, we found a heroin spoon. So that was nice. You know, someone was doing fixins in my basement at one point in the past. But yeah, this is what my basement looks like. It's not all that exciting, but it is what it is. So next step, we're going to go and we're going to try to get this vanity upstairs and fit for a hole. Okay, here is the next step with the vanity project. We have finally gotten the entire vanity plumbed. So we have this is the kit that came with the sink. It's got the stopper process in the back, so let you turn the stopper of the sink up. All of this is a pre-made slip joint to make this longer because it wasn't long enough. Because all of this connections in here had to be below these handles, the knobs, so that I could actually turn the water on and off. And this needs to have a gap here so that I can turn this to tighten it onto this shaft. So I had to put in all of this in here. This nice clean stuff is all new, just put in by me. And this is pretty much my first project of this variety. You'll notice that there's little witness marks on here, so I lined everything up the way it was supposed to be I did dry fit, complete dry fit, and then I glued it all together. And unfortunately, we had to drill a big hole right here, and it was considerably larger than anything I have in my repertoire, so I had to go buy one of these, which is a 2 3/4 inch hole saw. But this one has an armature, and this screws off, and then I can put other hole saws on this, up to 6.5 inches on this, which is cool. So in the future, if I need to cut larger holes through things, I can use bigger hole saws for that purpose. Unfortunately, that uses a 1/2 inch diameter shaft, and the drill I had available to me at the time and this morning was only 3/8 of an inch, which is why I now own this, which is a Black & Decker 7 amp driver, drill driver. It actually will help you drive heavy duty bolts and drill concrete. And it comes with this spiffy adjustable and removable handle. It's corded because I have not had great luck with cordless drills recently. But unfortunately, during this process, we discovered that we did not have the sink. I apologize for calling it off the floor here. The sink is not sitting the way we wanted it to, so we've had to put adhesive underneath both sides and along the entire back, and we're currently clamping it in place, and we're going to let it dry for 24 hours, and hopefully that will adhere it into position. If it doesn't, well, then it's time to go find a new adhesive of some variety. The only foible we've had with this entire project is that this sink is unfortunately not perfectly centered under the mirror. When the hole was measured under there, it was measured centered on the water knobs and not centered on the mirror itself. But you know, nobody's perfect. It's only off by a little, and we want to replace this thing anyway, so when we do, we will just move everything over. It's only off by about an inch or so, probably less than by about an inch. So we will move that over there, and then the whole process will look a whole lot better. So that'll be cool, now won't it? So that's how I've spent all of my day today, and it necessitated 3 trips to the hardware store, which thrilled me to no end. So hopefully tomorrow this project will be finished. Yay! Alright folks, here is the finished product. And this particular video you are seeing at the moment is, sorry, I'm raising a headlamp, is a month after we started this project. Because if you see this section in here, this is a straight piece of pipe designed for a sink that has no overflow valve. Lots of sinks have overflow vents in case the sink fills up too much and then it doesn't flood your bathroom. However, this sink does not have that feature because it's very, very small. We also had to significantly bond it to the wall. There is sealant all across the back. There's sealant all on both sides here, so we've really plastered this thing in place. But this right here does nothing. It is purely cosmetic, because this sink requires a non-overflow drain, and they apparently don't really make non-overflow drains anymore that have stoppers in them. Don't ask me why, but they don't. And this set here came with a drain for an overflow sink. So we have spent weeks trying to chase down one of those so that we now have a sink that works.
Well, we've been exploring some of our options, and the final option was just the simple strainer.
Yep, so it's all finished. In case you wanted to, there's me wearing a headlamp on my head. So we're done. It's finished. It's been weeks, but the sink is finished.